Welcome to my Zombiethon / Horror Mayhem vlog, part 2. I feel really silly. As you can see, I was putting my zombie face on for the zombie picture prompt for Zombiethon. I'm super excited because I have filled every prompt on the bingo board except for 3. I have 3 to go. So excited about that because I didn't think I was gonna go as deep into Zombiethon as I have. So this is exciting. As you saw, last night we had a little zombie themed party and I was going to do my makeup for that, but it was too much. I'm still recovering from my cold / flu, whatever it was, and I just didn't have it in me to do the makeup. And now, you don't know how bad I look in real life. This could very well just be what I look like right now, recovering from illness, right? Anyway, I didn't have it in me to do the makeup last night, but we did have a lot of fun. We had some different treats, green foods, focused on turning average foods into zombie themed foods like our guacamole and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. We also watched World War Z. My youngest 3 watched that with me. It's a family favorite and it was just as good this time. Aside from Zombiethon, I did pause the movie last night to jump in and listen to Kelsi from Nightmares and Nostalgia's movie club chat about Donnie Darko, and I had so much fun. There were so many people that had brilliant ideas about the movie, came to some amazing conclusions, and I just gobbled it up. Loved it so much. Gobbled it up. Moving back to Zombiethon, we're rolling right along here. I read a picture book with my daughter Shelby today called More Zombies: The Search for Gargery, and that was a lot of fun. She is actually currently wearing some makeup like Gathina, the eldest sister of the Moore zombie family, and she looks so cute, but I'm just gonna have to take my word for it. She looks a lot cuter than me. Let's just say that, okay? Let's just say that. But that was a lot of fun. Super cute illustrations, and I guess it's part of a series. That's how I came to believe it to be after reading it. So I definitely want to get some physical copies of this series, if it is indeed a series, because they're just so darn cute. So cute. I also read a short story. It actually contained 2 short stories called Eden, a short story about the zombie apocalypse, and I would say it's about a 3-star rating. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. I did enjoy it. There were certain parts that I did not enjoy as much, but I liked seeing a couple, fresh twists on the zombie apocalypse. The first one, you kind of see how it started in a certain way without giving away too much information. And in the second one, it was just this like wild, out there, different take, and I really liked it, but I also struggled with that one as well because one of the characters was just despicable. Just despicable. But both were enjoyable. They weren't like my favorite stories I've ever read, but I don't regret reading them. And I think people who enjoy different takes and different ideas about zombie origins might enjoy those. That was also free on my Kindle. You know I love to scope out those freebies. I am still reading Everything Dies Season 1. Now, if you missed my first Zombiethon video, this book is a part of a series, and each book in the series is a season, and each chapter in each book is an episode. That's just so much fun. We're following a family that's in this kind of military refuge camp, and this family's meeting some new people as they go along, and the mother is just really pushing for answers, and that's making some people unhappy. That's making her husband nervous. They've got a young daughter, Emily, and they live in a container, like a storage container that has been kind of modified to use as a home. And a lot of people live in those. Then there's like single people that live in tents. There's a whole lot happening, and they have to kind of wait for food rations and things like that. So this mom's demanding some answers, and I am kind of demanding some answers as well. So I need to keep reading to see if this mother gets the answers she seeks. I did read an article about zombie ants, which felt really familiar. I'm not sure if Kat read this to us last year or the year before, or if maybe I read it before. But also I was reading up on zombie worms that live deep, deep, deep in the ocean. So that was pretty cool too. I did not save that article, but I do think I have the link for the article on the zombie ants. All right, that is it from me for now. Lucky you. Next time you see me, I'll have my normal makeup. But fair warning if you're new, I still kind of look like a zombie most days. It is what it is, just not to this extent. Hello, we are going to step aside from Zombiethon for a minute and talk about a horror book that I have been wanting to acquire for so long. I've read this book via ebook, library copies, all sorts of things, but I have never owned a physical copy. So I decided to take some of my birthday money and purchase myself a copy. And I am so excited because it's so pretty. Bram Stoker's Dracula. And I want to show you a couple parts. His castle. The man himself. This is the 1897 edition. And then the chapter headers are really cool too. Here's the back. The only thing I don't like about this version is there's a permanent sticker. Can't take it off. It's like part of the cover. But I am so excited to have this for my shelves. And of course, I plan on rereading it because that's what I like to do. Jumping back into Zombiethon, the other night I watched a couple movies for my birthday. The first was Train to Busan. I watched that with most of my family. And while I was warned in a sprint over on Kat's channel that this is a very heartbreaking, you're gonna cry kind of movie, I still wasn't prepared. It was such a good movie. I really enjoyed it, and didn't at the same time because it is definitely heartbreaking. But it was fast-paced and really kept my attention and kept the attention of my family as well. So definitely worth the watch, even though it is sad. So the thing was, when I first started watching it, the first like 20 minutes or so, I can't remember where I was watching it, but it was dubbed. And I just can't, with mouths moving a certain way, but words coming out in a different way, I can't do that. So I went through and found another option so that it was subtitles instead, and I like that 1000% more than the dubbed movies. So that's definitely what I want to do from this point on. I also watched Wreck, and I kind of went into this blind, and I did not realize this was a foreign movie as well, which was so exciting. So this was in Spanish. This followed, I think it was more of an internet news channel. I'm not sure, I don't know, it just felt that way. I could be completely wrong. It could have been like some local news channel. but it felt more internet-y to me. So this girl, the reporter, and the cameraman were following some firefighters on a nightly routine, just to kind of show the general public, you know, what a typical day or night in the life of a firefighter is. And so they get this kind of routine, not that big a deal call, and so they allow her to tag along, and poop hits the fan. It's a lot different than what they expected, and I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to spoil it. It is so much fun. Whew, when it picks up, it does not let up. I actually did have to take a little bit of a break when watching it. I was like, let me just breathe for a minute, because holy cow, it's just boom, boom, boom. And I loved it. And I want to see the second one. If you've seen Rec, have you seen Rec 2? Is it worth the watch? Last night, one of my adult kids and I started and watched about half of The Night Eats the World. Really, 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 really enjoying this one. Like, a lot. It's up there with Shaun of the Dead. I was saying that Shaun of the Dead might possibly be one of my all-time favorite zombie movies. I really enjoy the humor. Loved it, loved it. But we talked about that already. This is right up there so far for me, because it's different. It is definitely slow horror. It is a slower paced movie, and I love it. I don't want to say too much about it again because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but it is set in Paris. A guy goes to his, I think his ex's apartment to get a box of his things out of her apartment, and she's hosting a big ol' party. And so she tells him to wait in her office. He can go find his box, but to wait in her office so that she can talk with him. Well, he falls asleep, wakes up the next morning, and whoa, that party went awry. We'll leave it there. But I really like it. The main actor is awesome. It really feels like you're there with him. Really, really enjoying that. Really, really, really. So hopefully we will finish that tonight. It just was getting too late and we were both tired and needed to go to bed. So that's typical for me. I oftentimes will watch half a movie, need to go to bed, need to tend to kids, whatever, and then have to get back to it later. It's just part of my life. But so far I am absolutely loving it, and it's probably another favorite. We'll see how it ends. We'll see what the last half brings. Okay, so I think that's it for watches. Oh, I did watch an episode of The Walking Dead Origins. I could only watch one because only one was available for free on my TV. But it was the Daryl episode. And so basically Daryl is narrating his character arc, basically. And it was interesting. It was kind of nice to revisit the whole Walking Dead up to season 11. Just kind of revisit, at least from his perspective, the whole thing, you know, to kind of get that synopsis of the entire series. I enjoyed it. The narration style was a little bit different than I expected, but it was a good watch. It was a good watch, so I enjoyed it. I think that's all of the watches that I have gotten in since we last talked. I am still reading Everything Dies, but let me tell you, I am very close to the end. I have less than an hour left on my Kindle, so I'm going to finish that up and I will talk to you about that when I'm done. But I am super excited to have this Dracula edition, and I'm going to find a nice place on my shelves to display it. I will reread it at some point. I do have another book coming in the mail that I will talk about soon, but that one I definitely plan on rereading this summer. The second half of my birthday book mail has arrived, and I'm super excited. This is a book that I read a couple of years ago. I received it as a gift, and I ended up passing it along to one of my family members because I knew she would love it, and I was correct. She actually read it twice that I know of, so she's a huge fan. And so I've been missing it. I wanted to have a copy again so that I could hug it, hold it, read it, display it on my shelves, all that good stuff. So I grabbed myself a new copy. It's Mississippi Blue by Brittany Johnson. This is a kind of Southern Gothic horror story that is just delicious. I absolutely love this. It is definitely in my top 10 of all time, indie or otherwise. It's amazing. I will talk about this more in an upcoming video. Yes, the summer book recs, because Southern Gothic horror is perfect for the summer. And that is one of my goals this summer, is to read and watch more Southern Gothic vibes, whether it's horror or not. So if you have any suggestions for me, please let me know down below. And anyone else that is looking for recommendations can check those out as well. But this is my top tier recommendation for Southern Gothic horror. I ended up finishing Everything Dies, and I'm not sure how to rate it. I'm not sure. I enjoyed a lot of it, but about 50 to 60% through the book, there was a scene that almost caused me to DNF the thing. I am not a big DNFer, not on purpose anyway. I do what a lot of people call soft DNFs, or I say DFN, done for now, and I'll set things aside for later. Sometimes I don't get back to them, but it's not intentional. My intentional DNFs are very rare, and I almost threw my Kindle, but we don't want to break that. Almost threw it across the room, almost DNF'd it, but I was like, I need to see if the person causing my turmoil right now is gonna get their due, and happy to say they did. So I don't know how to rate it because of that and a few other issues I had with it. Overall, it was an interesting and engaging story, a lot like The Walking Dead, of course, but with its own flair. So I really did enjoy the book overall. There's just certain elements that I did not enjoy. So I'm kind of mulling over my rating. I don't know if I'll just leave it without a rating. I'll leave it as read on Goodreads and call it good, but we'll see. I also did not enjoy the ending. Did not enjoy it. I mean, I guess it could be the most realistic ending that you could come up with, I guess, but I still did not. No. When I read, I like to escape, so sometimes things feel a little too real, and I'm like, this is not the escape I desired. But it also was actually a good closing point, so if you're interested in checking it out, you don't necessarily, in my opinion, need to read the entire series. I don't know if I'm going to continue the series. We'll see. If I do, it'd be next year for Zombiethon. I don't think I'll read it just outside of Zombiethon. But anyway, that is done. So I am currently reading Super Zombie Juice Mega Bomb. I think that's what it's called. It's a middle grade zombie horror book, and it's actually quite entertaining. I really lowered my expectations for this one because I did read reviews. I know I don't always read reviews. Normally I try to avoid them because I don't want to know anything about it, but I was a little bit concerned about the title. I was like, is this middle grade or not? Because I thought like maybe I could read a little bit to kind of get a feel for it and see if I want to read it with my kids, but I think one of the kids would enjoy it, but I don't know that I'd enjoy reading it aloud. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I am enjoying it. There is more humor than I expected, because one of the reviews said that there was zero humor, but that was by a younger person, so I don't know if they just didn't get the humor. Maybe the humor is meant more for older people, older adults. But anyway, definitely enjoying that one. I think I'm almost done with that one. I can't remember where I was. I set that aside for a little bit and started reading Walls of Torture by John Redman. There's a lot more spice in this than I expected, which is fine. I'm not complaining. I just didn't realize it was going to be that way. So I was like, whoa, you know. So if you like some spice and you like it to be a little more on the extreme side, I don't know how extreme it is on an extreme horror scale because I don't read a lot of extreme horror, but it's definitely more extreme than my typical books. So if you're not into the extreme, like really twisted minds, maybe you don't want to read this, but I enjoy things of a more extreme nature from time to time, and I am definitely enjoying this. So I don't have a lot to go. I'm on page 75, and there are 116 pages, but it's set to come out in July, I believe. So I am enjoying it. Here's the front cover. I really love this font and the colors. And here's the back. So I will let you know what I think of this when I am done. I'll let you know what I think of the middle grade read when I'm done. But I'm going to get back to reading before I make dinner. And of course, I'm going to be snacking on some white cheddar Cheez-It grooves while I read. Maybe I shouldn't. Those are kind of messy. But I am so happy to have this in my hands again. I'm going to put it on my shelves and plan on reading it this summer. Hello, hello, hello. So I am officially finished with Zombiethon. I mean, I could probably watch another movie, and if I see some sprints that I can catch, I'll definitely join in on those, or like watch parties or anything. But the rest of the month, I am going to be focusing on Horror Mayhem. I did not focus enough on Horror Mayhem this month, but I have kind of that, like, I have to keep everything in their own little boxes. I cannot focus on multiple things. I just have a hard time doing that. So I did read Walls of Torture here. So that goes towards Horror Mayhem. And I want to thank Bad is Rad for really dangling that carrot in front of me and encouraging me, without even realizing it, to join in on Horror Mayhem. She is one of the co-hosts and she's a good friend, and so I was super excited to join in, and I don't think I would have if it weren't for her. Not that the other co-hosts aren't absolutely amazing. I don't know all of them, but the ones I do know are amazing, and I just wasn't going to join too many things, and then, you know, her excitement over this was contagious, so I wanted to join in, and she made it sound a lot less daunting than I was making it out to be in my mind. So thank you, Bad, for encouraging me to join. I'm currently reading Eyes on the Island by Frank Reddy. This is one of 3 books that I won in a giveaway on his page over on Instagram, and this is like a southern sort of spooky story. I'm not super far in, as usual. I'm not super far in. I'm only on chapter 2. I read the prologue and chapter 1, and it's really good so far. So I can't wait to dive back into this. I'm also trying to finish up Green Unpleasant Land. I put that aside so that I could get my zombie stuff in because I was just struggling to focus, and I was like, you know what, I need to dedicate some more time to that book to give it a proper review, because it was a review copy on my Kindle, and so I did set that aside, and I'm picking that back up as well. But during the day, I kind of wanted to read this book, and I'm trying to finish Green Unpleasant Land. And then the plan after that is to dive into Bury My Body Somewhere Nice, which is a collection of dark stories by Calvin Ellis, of course. Amazing author. He wrote the Paisley Mott series, and he's got another, I think it's a YA or middle grade book that I need to check out as well. So excited to dive into this as soon as I'm done with this one. And of course, I want to try to fit in Mississippi Blue this summer, but that's not this month. We're focusing on the shorter stories for Horror Mayhem now. And so I will probably try to watch some movies as well, which obviously time or length is not important with that, but I'm really trying to dive into some more Southern Gothic horror or Southern horror, just those kind of summery Southern vibes. I just get in the mood for the Southern things this time of year. I just finished recording my summer book recommendation video. Don't know how that's going to turn out. I was fumbling, people. I was fumbling, but hopefully through the magic of editing, it's not too bad. And you can check it out because it's going up before this video will. So I hope you enjoy, and I will check in when I'm done with another book. This one, by the way, wild. Wild. If you like extreme horror, you will probably love this. I'm still trying to figure out how to rate it, but I'll get back to that. I will figure it out. All right. See you soon. Hello, this is my official last check-in. I know I have a few days left before the end of this vlog, but when inspiration strikes, you have to roll with it. So I have been inspired to write a new story. I haven't felt that creative spark like this in a long time, and I think it's because I've been focusing too heavily on other things. Clearly, I have been heavy into YouTube lately, creating videos and participating in the amazing readathons and things like that, which are an absolute blast, but I really need to focus on the things that I want to put out. That have nothing to do with social media, because that's really where my heart is. And while I love connecting with friends here, I have been missing that part of myself for a while now, because I have been in editing mode on and off, and just slowly at turtle speed making my way toward publishing my first novella. And when this idea hit me today, I was like, you know what, that's it. I am throwing everything off the table, working on this one thing, and we'll see how often I can connect with you here. But if you'd like to continue connecting with me, I am on Instagram and probably won't stop connecting with others there because it's easy to get on and back off again. YouTube, it takes a lot more energy and time, and that is time and energy I need to spend on my creative pursuits. So we'll see how often we connect here, but I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this and connect with me through our love of zombies and horror and dark fiction and all the good things. So thank you so much. I did not bring my mug up here, but I do have my Write the Damn Book mug, which is kind of perfect to sign off with, right? Nothing in it, but we can still cheers. We've got hopes and dreams in this mug, hopes and dreams. So cheers to pursuing our creative desires and taking the time to work on things that bring us peace and joy and happiness without feeling guilt for setting the other things aside. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Cheers.